Got you covered. Good afternoon, everybody. Today we've got Robert out here. He is a GWAT veteran, and we're just doing a demonstration of using a subcompact tractor as cover in some team shooting. So Robert, if you'll tell us a little bit about team shooting and how would you do it. Before you get into that, note that we were using an AR and an SKS, which the SKS is bound to 10 rounds. Maybe something that you might encounter if things got really bad. So without further ado, Robert, tell us a little bit about team shooting and how you would do that with a 30 round capacity alongside 10 rounds.
Yeah, so and for this instance, with him having 10 rounds, me having 30 for like for training purposes, for every one round that he's going to shoot, I'm going to try to shoot 2 to 3 to kind of cover the gap of not having as many rounds going down range from his weapon. Team shooting is a very common thing, especially if you're running in a small fire team size element, 2 to 4 people. It's a very common thing, outside states, and if it comes here, it's going to be a very common thing. Being able to use any type of cover, whether it's a car, for this instance, a subcompact tractor, fallen trees, buildings, whatever. You just want to make sure that you have communication. Big thing now, everyone wants to do the whole shoot, but you have to be able to shoot, move, and communicate. Communication is what's going to, keep you alive on any type of battlefield, any scenario that you're going to come in contact with if you're running with somebody else. So being able to know, hey, I'm reloading, cover me, and vice versa, making sure that you're picking up the slack, so to speak, whenever they're not able to engage targets.
Robert, if you'll tell us a little bit about using a tractor or a similar piece of equipment as cover, what would you do? What would be your recommendations?
So whenever looking at any type of vehicle, for this instance, you're going to look for the places that are going to be able to stop more rounds, right? So we're going to come to the hood, right? You got a big old diesel motor here, plus you have these arms that control the bucket. So I'm going to position myself here, going either over top or around, trying to keep a low profile, because in the event that somebody's shooting back, I have a higher survivability rate if a round's going to hit here, deflect down, hit the motor, or just hit the motor in general. Because here in the States, the most common weapons are 9mm, 45, 5.56, and a little bit of 7.62 by 39. And generally speaking, your survivability chances are higher if you're positioning yourself basically from the rear of the motor to the front of the motor. In a car, getting yourself closer to where the transmission is, towards the back of the engine, you're just going to have a better chance of being able to stop those rounds. But you don't want to keep yourself behind the car. If you have to move, you want to move fast, because everything is going to, everything slowly deteriorates over time. So if that engine's catching rounds constantly, you're going to want to have to think about where am I going to move next. That way I have a higher survivability.
And we'll do some shooting and moving in later episodes. How about against a 50 cal? How long have you got behind that engine, would you say?
Maybe 1 round.
Okay.
The higher chance you're going to have is if that round's going to come from the front back. From the side, a 50 cal, like an A-pit, an armored piercing incendiary, is generally going to possibly go straight through that.
Okay.
Hopefully we don't have to run to somebody using a 50 cal, but if that's the case, then you really just want to vacate the area.
Okay. So that goes back to the movement.
Yes.
Period.
Yes. Moving and communicating.
Shoot, move, communicate?
Yep, shoot, move, communicate.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for watching. We're glad to have Robert out here today. If you like what we're doing, consider giving us a subscribe.